Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm a little late going live today, but we'll do what we can. So, last episode on our live stream, we built all of this. Some iron, some copper, and concrete. All of which is working at the most efficient it can be. That's our biomass automation. That will be going away today. So will all of those biomass generators that are running right now. Because we are going to unlock the next tier in Satisfactory. Tiers 3 and I believe 4. So, let's go down and unlock the tiers. Now, last episode we needed to build a lot of things in order to unlock the next tier. That was, well, let's double check again, 75 reinforced iron plates and 50 rotors. Now, since that took a little bit of time, even handcrafting them, I did that off camera. So let's put those in, load it up, seal it in, and send it on its way. And off it goes. So, that should have unlocked tiers 3 and 4. As you can see, delivery of Project Assembly Framework will unlock tiers 5 and 6. And for that, we will need 500 modular frames and 150 motors. That is definitely something we will either automate or do off camera. So, let's go and put in our first request for coal power, because this will allow us to get coal, the tractor, the truck station, and the most important coal generator, which will allow us to have infinite power. Because as long as we supply coal to it, it provides power. I don't have to refuel it. I can actually automate power generation, which is most excellent. And then we will go to Logistics Mark II, which will give us the Mark II conveyor belt, which allow us to transport 122 resources per minute, which is something we are definitely going to require just for screws. And then tier 4, we'll have the conveyor belt Mark III, which would give us 270 resources per minute. And the storage container Mark II, which in the new update is actually called the industrial storage container and has 2 inputs and 2 outputs. Improved melee combat is definitely a must. Gives us the Xeno Basher. It's an electro sword. Plus 5 inventory slots. And then in the steel production, which we can start making motors, which is what we need for the next unlock. Miner Mark II, foundries, steel ingots, steel beams, steel pipes, encased industrial beam, which is required to make conveyors Mark 4s, not the 3s. That's steel beams. Stators, which is required to make motors, and heavy modular frames. So, right now, tiers 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the only ones that are unlocked, well, in the game, up to tier 6. Tier 7 is not yet. And even in the new update, which I played around with, there wasn't any more tiers. So, first thing we're going to do is select coal power, select that milestone, and pick up some stuff to make some rotors. And so, reinforced iron plate, we need 25 of them. Look. Too many of those. Alright, 25 of those. 25 of these. So So we don't need nearly as many screws as we did before, but still. So let's take 100 of those. Let's take 300 rods and another couple hundred of these. Run back over here and quickly. Well, what did I do with the rest of the stuff I had on me? To be honest, we're not going to need any of these right now at all. So they can go away and get us some more parts. Oops, we grabbed all that biofuel. Which, let's put that all away. And that actually gives us some reinforced iron plates. We're going to make them anyway. So let's go grab some cables and some wire. Let's grab 2 stacks of wire. That way we can make as many cables as we need. Now, while we're working on it, I will talk about the new update. Now, what that released was the quartz and sulfur lines, which are in tiers 4 and 6. And got a new vehicle out of it, explosives, a rifle, and a bunch of other good stuff. So it was a lot of fun, a little buggy. There are vertical conveyors, so you're able to go up levels without making spaghetti chains worth of conveyors or weird conveyor constructions and routings, because that's what you have to do to go up multiple levels. And since vertical is the way to go, vertical is what we're going to have to do. So, and in order to go from level to level, you need at least, as currently before the update, 3 tiles, because the constructors, the smelters, the foundries, the manufacturers, which is a later game thing, the assemblers, they all are roughly 3 tiles high, 3 wall tiles high. And well, that the miners are 4, so they're even higher. So, and because you require at least 1 tile wide in order to go 1 tile up, you need a lot of room to just move from your level to level. And I oopsed. There we go. So, spaghetti chains, spaghetti factories is something that occurs quite regularly currently in this build of the game for what we're doing. So, 500 of those, 25 of those, 25 of those, and 200 cable. Pound the button. And we have launch.
Milestone reached. Long-range transportation, as well as the construction of outposts, is now encouraged. An increased focus on the explore and exploit pillar is recommended. Coal is 125% more efficient than biomass and can be automated.
So, where are we at? Um, so let's go automate some coal, shall we? We are going to need... There's some coal right there. So, let's go grab some... there's also some more over here, which we'll use later for our steel factory. This is always good. So let's grab some concrete. Alright, so scan for coal. We've got some right there. And then some more that direction. So let's build down to the coal and then some more that direction. Yep, this is going to be fun. So let's put foundations, that ramp to number 9. Building out over cliffs like this is never a fun prospect. And I'm not even sure I'm going to make it down there properly. Which is fine. The objective is to get close to it because I'm going to build the power plants. You ready bastard, get into that position. Out in that direction, which is why I grabbed all of that. Suppose I should put a vertigo warning on this this particular stream. Because definitely vertigo. If you are prone to it, there are sections of this game where you do not want to go. Ah! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Yoo-hoo! Oh, no wonder it didn't want to do it. It's 1, 2 too many. Now that I'm over here, let's redo that. This is probably too high, but we'll find out. I may have to drop down one, and we'll see. I may get to show you what happens when you try to put a miner down on a node that doesn't work. We forgot to grab the portable miner. Okay, so let me see here. Do I have any in storage? I do. Okay. Back down we go. Actually, while we're up here, we might as well grab enough parts to make these. Right now we need 2, so we'll make another 4, because 2 will cover our power requirements for a biomass. Which we really should check on our power. We're good. And as you see, we're sitting flat because everything is evened out. So let's make some rotors, some modular frames, and some more cables. So I'm going to need some of these. Here comes that. We'll grab some more copper. Another stack. We still have to unlock the next portion of Tier 3. Let's see, do we have anything we can... no, we do not. Let's grab some more parts for the various things. Gonna need 40 rotors, some modular frames, some cables. We'll have that unlocked while we're going about it. Now, once you unlock coal power, you're able to more readily automate your systems, because that gives you a lot more power and the ability to do a lot of other things. And as long as you supply coal to the power plants, they are infinite power, basically. So it's good, and each coal power plant produces 50 megawatts. Each biomass power plant produces 20. So 2 coal power plants would replace 4 biomasses, would actually replace 5 biomasses, and you would stop having to worry about watching them for fuel. Additionally, later on, you'll have fuel power plants from the oil, and eventually be released is the nuclear reactor, which I personally don't like from what I have seen of it online, because I in my previous job operated and maintained naval nuclear propulsion plants, so I have a great deal of knowledge about radioactivity and the like. And unfortunately, from what I'm seeing of the reactor plants and the uranium ore, it is unrealistically, well, it's a game, so there's that, but once the uranium is mined, from what I'm seeing, it becomes so radioactive that you can't approach it without dying. This is extremely false. Uranium ore is actually safe enough to be held in the hand. The particular radiation it emits is like radon or cigarette smoke, to be honest, and only dangerous if you ingest them. And both of those, by the way, radon and cigarette smoke, are alpha emitters. They actually, and so is uranium. It produces an alpha. A piece of paper, the dead layer of your skin, is sufficient shielding to stop alphas. You will require to have a radiation suit to go near them. And again, that's also a falsehood, because if you've seen the radiation suits people wear on TV, an actual radiation suit that protected you from radiation would be unwieldingly bulky. What you're actually looking at is contamination, anti-contamination suits, which actually prevent the spread of contamination. And the difference between contamination and radiation is like heat. It's a radiant, thus radiation. It's something that radiates from something. Contamination is like mud. Let's say it's hot mud, for example. It's a radioactive substance that clings and stays put. So that's contamination. Radiation is just radiation. Like the heat coming off the hot mud would be the radiation. Back to Satisfactory for a second. So modular frames require 3 plates to make. So let's make some more plates. I need what? 12 times 3 is 36. So I need 36 plates plus 20 is 56. So let's make screws till that says 56. Wrong button. So the lead is the most effective radiation shield for ionizing radiation. So that's why most things are made out of lead when you in games for radiation protection. But it's extremely heavy and unwieldy because you need 2 inches of lead to reduce the incoming ionizing radiation to 1/10 of its previous value, or shield 90% of the radiation. So, need more iron rods. Those lead aprons they give you at the dentist are a placebo. Even if they were a 1/16 of an inch thick, or an eighth of an inch thick, that would still give you, well, if they were even if they were 1/4 inch thick, you're still getting 75% of the radiation. If they're an eighth of an inch thick, you're getting 87% of the radiation. Yes, I did the math. What are we at? 56? Yeah, we need 56. So I know some people say, but Fukushima, but Chernobyl, those are 1,000 bananas contains as much radiation as released as Fukushima. Chernobyl was a bad design, and they were violating their safety procedures, and they overrode their protective systems. So unauthorized testing with overridden safety systems that would have protected them with a really bad design. No one's building Russian reactors anymore anyway. And you got Chernobyl, and none of them were a nuclear explosion. Unlike, I don't know, a James Bond movie. A reactor cannot explode like a nuke. The laws of physics actually prevent it. What you saw at Fukushima and what Chernobyl was realistically a steam water explosion. They heated the water up, and Fukushima was actually hydrogen being released. So you can't get a nuclear bomb from a reactor.
We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation. So
unfortunately, that badly unrealistic radioactive. Must place this on a resource node, so not big, low enough. So yeah, I have a bit of a pet peeve when it comes to that kind of thing. So I will probably not be using the reactor, as it really grates on my nerves. I really hate perpetuating falsehoods when it comes to things that are actually pretty safe, but people that don't know anything about it make the assumption that it's not, based on two wildly separate events. Well, three really, if you count 3 Mile Island, which really wasn't. And is just inherently wrong. And we're out of... Okay. That's a summer sloop we're hearing over there. And in the next update, we will be able to look at them, or at least... research them a bit. I really don't like that. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. Has to be placed on a research node. So yeah. And to give an example of how inaccurate things are that aggravates the crap out of me, there are tourists that go to Fukushima, I mean not Fukushima, but Chernobyl these days, and yes, there are portions of the area you don't want to go because background radiation is high enough. But if you look at pictures of Chernobyl today, it's green and there are trees growing and animals live there. So the false narrative that nothing can grow there because of the radiation is just bad. I'll put that one as 5. And unfortunately, it annoys the crap out of me because media and even popular games help perpetuate. Oddly enough, Fallout has a relatively realistic radiation mechanic, as nuclear detonations would produce. Oh, bugger in hell! I got him backwards. Nuclear detonations would produce the type of radiation you see in Fallout, because what they do, that is it produces a lot of neutrons, and neutrons change the isotopes of things, and what that means is we only need 2 for now, but we can have some more. And there are, when you change the isotope of something, you get radioisotopes. For example, I'm not missing concrete. Don't know why it wanted me to do that, but whatever. Radioisotopes. Alright, pro tip. You can change conveyors without removing them, such as that. So, that is now a conveyor Mark II. That one's a Mark II. And I can't afford that one. So, don't know how I became missing concrete, but okay. Hey look, pot's back. So, believe it or not, a banana is radioactive. Potassium 40 is a radioisotope of potassium, and it's a very common radioisotope. So anything high in potassium contains it. So a banana's radioactive. You're radioactive. Your wife's husband, boyfriend, significant other, etc. is radioactive. There are radioisotopes of carbon and calcium, iron, the things that make up you. Hell, there's a radioisotope of nitrogen. There's a radioisotope of oxygen. There's a radioisotope of lead. So, if it's a material, it's entirely possible that it's parts of it are radioactive. Just because... Actually, no. We'll do it over here. Just because a video game where the news told you something is bad, it's not always true. Got a bit of a bug there that's telling me a few things. Interesting. Okay. So that brings the And that leaves me 3 of 4, and then this fourth connection can go there. Bugger. I need a cable. So the reason the Fallout series has relatively realistic radioactivity examples is the fact that nuclear war will activate. It's called activation when we cause things to become radioactive. With a neutron source. So that's why. And that smoke coming from the smokestacks means we have power. And look, green lights. And this goes here. We now have a capacity of 280 megawatts. Because I added 200. But we're only using 59. And right now, our coal power plants will each require 1 every 5.4 seconds. If you do the math, that is 12 a minute. No. It used to be 12 a minute. Ow! Ooh, hang on. Gotta get up and get my calculator. So, so 60 divided by 5.4 is 11 seconds. So that's 11 units per second. Right now, it's actually 11.1. Call it 12. So if we wanted to even out our coal use, you could drop down the production so it won't turn on or off. So the method that I have here, that I've shown you guys in the past, is what's known as the overflow method. So the materials will come into the first splitter, fill up the first usage of it, go to the next one, fill up the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, and then the rest of it comes out in the here. So this one, as you see, is full because that's not moving. If I check, yep, it's full. So 12 times 4 is 48. So let's drop this down to 48, which is 48 divided by 120 is 40%. So let's drop this all the way down to 40%. You can see it's producing 48 coal per minute. And that will produce enough coal for our current usages. And what it now allows us to do, since we don't need them anymore, take out our biomass burners. And those should kick off. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to reattach them until they do. There they go, they kicked off. So, they're now shut off, they're blinking red because they want fuel. 200 megawatts consuming, 55. So, let's unlock tier 4, at least see what this in tier 4. So, steel production, improved melee combat, or logistics. Let's do improved melee combat first because we are going to need that Xenobasher So select that milestone. Let's go grab some parts. Alrighty, up more copper. One, two, three, and we'll take the rest. 4 short, L, take all. So I think between streams, I'm going to reorganize the base a little bit, bring up those 2 iron mines for automating modular frames and rotors, because this gets tedious. But fortunately, it doesn't take very long, to be honest. As I mentioned before, it is faster currently sometimes to hand craft what you're working on. I could easily go over to the copper mine, install another constructor, and automate cable production. Or I could, now that we have the Tech 2 belts, Mark II belts, what I can do is automate rotor and and reinforced iron plate production, and can actually automate modular frame production as well. So we need 30 until that's enough screws till that says 30. And then after that, enough screws till the rotor says 25. And that's what you need to do as you progress into each tier. Right now I'm just trying to unlock them so I can show you what's in each tier. And then to keep the streams a little shorter, I'll work and automate some of the factories in between streams. That's 30. And I'll show you guys what I did in between, especially since the requirements for the next 2 tiers is heavy modular frames and motors, both of which means we're going to have to automate a lot of things. So we'll have nail production automated, rotor production automated, stator production automated, which means we got motor production automated. So, well, that's everything we need to unlock the Xenobasher. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh. Why didn't someone tell me I didn't make the modular frames? I can see 2 of you are watching. Someone could have said something in the chat room. It's so silent. It's quiet. Too quiet. And I'm not hunting wabbits. And while we're at it, we'll select the next milestone first.
Inflated your pocket dimension and have provided an improved Xeno Zapper with increased strength and range.
Let's see what we need for the Xenobasher. 5 modular frames, another Xeno Zapper. and whatnot. So I've got the iron rods, need some reinforced plates, some cable. I've got more than enough wires. So let's see what we can make. So the to-do list is very helpful in determining what you need to make things. Cable. So it helps you keep track of what you have, what you need, and what you have to go get. Make a Xeno Zapper, and then we'll make the Xeno Basher. Alright, one Xeno Basher made. Let's look at it, shall we? Much better. So, we don't have steel production, but let's automate the cable production, so I'm not making anymore. And wire, we'll increase the wire production, I guess. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's increase the wire production. It's going to need another constructor. 72 screws. And that should be it. Alrighty, so let's increase our foundation, point out to here, and put down another constructor there, and one right here, and we'll put 2 storage containers right like that. Its power pole can go away, so I'm going to put another one here. Does that clip through anything? Not really. So it'll be fine. Nope. Because I need this to attach to here. That only gives us one more. So, how many you got? 3. You can go here. There we go. Otherwise, that would have said encroaching. And we don't want encroaching. So, that will produce wires. This will make cable. Now, this one's 30 wires per minute to make 15 cable. So, let's drop this thing's production down to 67%. No, yeah, 67%. That should be 30, yep. And then we'll pull this off. We'll take a splitter, which I have on 5, and put that there. Alright, and then this one will be told to make wire. And it wants 15 ingots per minute. This one wants 10 ingots per minute. So we need 25. This is producing 15 at 50. So normally it's at 30. So 25 divided by 30. We want 83%. So let's bring that up to 84. Because it's actually higher than 83. Too far. There we go. So 25.2. Basically what this thing wants. And then we'll have to repaint that one later and that one too. To match the color scheme of our copper mine. So there's that. So copper and wires, cables and wires are both automated. No power. What do you mean no power? Fine. Have power. There we go. So that's all automated. And let's put that away. Should we automate? That's a merger. Should we automate plates and screws or whatnot, or build out some more? Let's build out some more while we're waiting for that stuff to work. Because before we do anything else, we need to unlock steel protection. Now these are impure nodes, so they're not going to produce as much as the normal nodes that are on the other side of the base. So these would probably be best for like rotors, something I'm really not going to need much of. So So let's go make a couple of miners, and we'll plop them down. Okay, so portable miner. I need some more cable. There's that. One and two. Make sure we have enough materials for a couple miners. And then what we're going to need are a couple smelters, a constructor, let's see, plates, rods, nails or screws, and an assembler or two. So what we're missing is some cable, some reinforced iron plates, because we're going to need some power plants to power things too, so we need more rods. So what I'm probably going to do is turn this area, this one, into a rods and plates, and then this one into the reinforced iron plates production, and then we'll have rotors off one of those. Yep, we forgot the, oh well, we'll just grab it from over here. Concrete. And to build the reinforced iron plates. Grab 6 because that is 600 or 6 stacks of concrete is 100 foundations. No, 100 of these, because they use 6 apiece. So, there is that. So let's go automate rotors while we're at it, and then we'll automate reinforced iron plates and maybe modular frames. Actually, we should automate modular frames. So first things first, put down the miner. There's that resource node, so remember it's over there. Alrighty. So right now this one will be off. Let's put her in standby. So we have power there. And let's start with, so when we get power to this, it'll be 30 ore per minute. Now, how many we're going to need? So we actually may have to use both of them. So 30 ore per minute is one smelter. See if this fits. It does. So E ingots 30, 30. Okay, that will be running just fine. And until we get the Mark IIs, that'll be fine. So there's that. So 30 ore per minute, we can make either, well, we can do rods. So let's make a splitter. And a constructor. We need more of this. So let's do, we're doing, this is going to be our rotor manufacturer, so we'll do 2 things of rods. And each of those rods will make so that will be 15 apiece. That's not quite centered, but oh well. Each of these will produce screws, basically on a 1-to-1 ratio. And that will come this direction. Into a merger, logistics, conveyor merger. And actually, we need conveyor Mark II. We're going to put that as... we'll do that as 4 for right now. I've seen reinforced iron plates. Bugger. Well, we'll figure that one out in a minute. Because I might be able to drop them down. Because coming out, I'm definitely going to need reinforced iron plates. But for now, I need to hook this one up. And do that with it. Okay. So, that's got power. That's got power, but it's offline. It's what the yellow light's blinking. So, we'll configure that to iron ingots. And put some more foundations down. Ah, there's the mantaway. I wondered what that noise was. Okay, so. And then this will have. Oh, how many production assemblers. I'm missing rotors. What do you mean I miss? Ugh. That's aggravating. How did I not make modular frames? What am I missing? Need more cable. And see, 6 modular frames would mean enough screws to make that, and then we need enough screws for rotors to make 8 of them. Oh wait, those are modular frames, which means we need another 12 reinforced iron plates. Actually, we needed whatever. Yeah. This is why the to-do list helps. Let's see how many rotors I need. 8, 7, 8. And I still screw things up. Yay! So, let's go finish automating the modular, the rotors. So, how many rotor? I will need 18 rods per minute. And 132 screws. Well, I can produce 180. So 132 divided by 2 would be 66. Divided by 8. Divided by 90 is 73, 74% on each of them. So that'll be fine. The question is, can I move that many things? And no, I cannot. My resources are at 120 per minute. So it will be a blockage until we can unlock the next Mark III conveyor, which will move to 70. But that is where we're going to be. So I'm going to need more reinforced iron plates, because simply that's how it's going to be, because we're going to have to use Mark II conveyors. Right now, Mark III, we need steel production unlocked. So let's make some more reinforced iron plates. How many do I have? I have none. So let's make 30 of them. This way we have more than enough to make the adequate belts. Even though they're not going to be adequate, they will be sufficient to move most of what we need. And if I dial the assembler down to it only needs 120, we might be able to where am I at? So let's see what that would be. So 120 divided by 132, 91%. So we dial it down to 91%. We will be able to use what we need. So 4. Okay, so we need an assembler here. And we'll delete that for now. This needs to make iron rods. Actually, we needed 2 assemblers, didn't we? So let's put a splitter in. I said a splitter. And we'll put one assembler over here. Do I have enough room to put the other one there? No, we do not. So one of these constructors is going to be right in line with that, and the other one will be right next to it. And we'll dial both these down to 9, which would be 60%. So rods 60%, rods 60%, and we'll probably be even lower given the fact of what we got to do. So these come out to a merge. And then this is going to come out this direction. And we'll put the constructor, or the assembler, right there. That'll go there. And that one will go there. So I don't like clipping, so you can come over here and you can go there. So clog that rotor. And what did we want? 61%? We'll bring this online because it's got to go through one cycle before it does anything. So these let's add some rods so we can see what happens. No, what? 132. Oh crap. 120 divided by 132. 91%, not 61. So this thing wants 16.38 rods per minute. So each of these should be producing 8. So 8 divided by 15, 53%. Call it 54. 53.33. So drop them both down to 54. Or 153 and 144. So 16.38, 8.1. Let's pick this up to 54. Or 55. Yeah, close enough. So our grand total is roughly 16 ingots per minute, which means this thing needs to be at 54% as well. There we go. Yeah, we'll do 55. Which means this thing can drop down to 55% as well. 16.2, 16.5. We'll take that one to 56. 55. Up, 55. There we go. 16.8, 16.5, 16.5. That's producing as much as that's taking. That's producing as much as those are taking. These are producing as much as that's taking. And that is at full capacity of our current belts. So these things need to drop down to 60 apiece, which is 67%, because otherwise we're overloading the belt. which means each of this can drop down to 67%. Remember, I like flat power. I don't like spikes in my power. I don't like lack of power. I like flat power. So both those are eating up 20 rods per minute. This is producing 30, so this will drop down to 67%. Produces 20. This will drop down to 67%. There we go. Produces 20. 20, 20, 20, 20. All good. And then... And we need rods. Because we gave this guy our rods. There. And there you go. There are the rotors. Being produced, automated. Yay. Now eventually all of these containers are going to go into one central area, so I don't have to run over all over the base in order to grab things. It will be just one location. So we now have a completely automated rotor factory, and if I wanted to, I could put walls up and build above it. So yeah. What do we got? Steel production, waiting, and then logistics mark. That actually requires steel, so that I'm going to have to figure out, because we're using all of the iron ore. These bounces I don't like. It's a miner turning on and off. But I believe we have excess coal production capacity right now, and we definitely have excess iron capacity at the moment. So yeah, because this thing could be putting out a lot more than it is. So we may be putting a foundry out in this area. And then some steel manufacturers. I don't know. Well, unfortunately, it's been almost an hour and a half, and I'm trying to keep this thing a little shorter. So I'm going to end the stream here, and get to editing it so I can upload it to YouTube, because I don't think people want to watch 4 hours of stream again. So we did a bit of work, just a quick stream. Finished tier 3, unlocked parts of tier 4, and we'll do some exploring later for some more iron. There's some more over here. We can get at. There's some copper over here. There's even more iron, a little bit of limestone. There's limestone over in this area. There's coal over here. We can all go after all of that stuff. I actually think the coal is on top of that. Oh, and there's sulfur over in this direction for when the update occurs, and we can start unlocking firearms and explosives, and that means these rocks go away. We can blow up rocks, we can blow up trees. We can't blow up those things, so we need the gas mask to go get that yellow power slug. And there's a purple one on top of that. We're also going to try to get some Caterium in the future, and there's a couple good places. There's a pure one in this area that we have to blow something up to get, and there's one over here. So Caterium is something very useful, and we actually should do it at tier 4. Same with sulfur, which is over here. So I try to stream every Sunday. It will be preferably around noon Pacific. Unfortunately, I was a little late today. 5 hours late today. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch to be notified when I go live again, which will be next week. And also, I'm going to be trying to make up shorter videos, just a quick run through of each tier, unlocking them, editing them, so you're not seeing them done live, discussing them, showing some tips and tricks. I will also try to be doing other games such as World of Warships, World of Tanks, Jurassic Park Evolution, Subnautica. I really should buy Subnautica Below Zero. That's another early access game. Speaking of early access, Twitch. Sorry. Subnautica is available in the Epic Game Store, and that is the only place you can buy it. I may put a link down in the description of the YouTube upload for this. I don't have an affiliate link, so you can't help me out there. But if you enjoy what you're seeing, if you like sandbox, open world type games, feel free to check it out. You'll probably find out a few things before I introduce them if you do. And check out some other videos on YouTube. Nooblets, Nooblets, is the guy that actually got me into this game. He did a Let's Play. He did a short series, showed how it worked. I went, ooh, interesting. I'm going to check that out. For World of Warships, World of Tanks, check out the Mighty Jingles. Good guy. But there's on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will. You'll be notified of. Hit the bell icon to be notified of anytime I go live or post a new video. Well, I haven't figured out how to stream live to YouTube yet, but this is my third stream. Well, second live, second with a headset live, third stream overall. So I'm still learning. Any feedback is appreciated. Don't forget to go ahead and make comments, chat. I can see 2 viewers. See you guys next week.